Guys, he's a local from Granville. Give it up for John Ball.
Thank you so much. Keep it going for your host. As the host mentioned, I am a small town Sally, which I lived in Boston for the last 4 years, and anytime I brought that up, that I grew up in a small town, people would always be like, "Oh my God, are you okay? What's it like growing up in a small town? What's it like?" And I'd go, "Well, when I was 16, I caught my neighbors having sex on my deer cam. Had to kick them off our backyard, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing." Another thing I tell people about Ohio, I just learned this. The Ohio State Hospital donates 800 gallons of breast milk every year to the Ohio State football team to help them get like bigger gains after workouts. Yeah, it works really well for the athletes. The only problem is after every time one of them scores, they have to be burped and swaddled, which is really rough. I don't know if any of you have ever burped a 300-pound linebacker, but just be careful when you do it, because if you're not, you will die. So just focus on that. Though I bet like 90% of the donations are because the wife's husband bet money on the game. Like, "Hey, honey, if you could just, work some of this out for me, I'd really appreciate it," which has to be illegal, or if it's not, I don't really want to be here anymore. I don't know if any of you agree. But my sister told me she learned this in nursing school, and I was like, "Yeah, what the hell? Is this like a backroom deal or something? Is DeWine in on this? Like, where is all this coming from?" And she was like, "Nah, women just like volunteer to do this, like it's their civic duty as Ohioans." And I was like, "Wait, so you're telling me women will come into the hospital, turn on the Ohio State game, give birth, drop kick their baby into the ceiling, and then be like, 'Yeah, I'm going to need to breastfeed CJ Stroud and the entire Ohio State offensive line right now'?" So I went to the OSU hospital in some football pads to see what all the fuss was about. They kicked me out of the maternity ward and put me on some no-fly list. I don't know what that was all about. Felt like some kind of discrimination. I don't know. You can't discriminate against somebody for life-saving medical attention just because they're bad at sports. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you all a story right now. I don't know how well all of you remember the 2008 recession, but I know it was tough for a lot of us. It was not tough for me, though. As a 10-year-old boy, I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft, and the other people playing this game with me, like 16 hours a day, were all recently laid off truckers living in Detroit, living off of government stipends, playing video games with me for 16 hours a day. And the cool thing about being a 10-year-old boy then was whenever I would talk, they'd go, "Wait, are you a girl?" And then they'd shower me with gifts and make me their leader, thinking that I was a beautiful woman when I was just a fat 10-year-old boy with a bowl cut in my bedroom. And so I did this, and it was really the highest I had ever been in my entire life. I had an empire of gold, any Pegasus in the world that you could want, I could fly on. And they donated me 9 million gold over the course of an entire summer, which in US dollars equals about $2 an hour. But if you're doing it 16 hours a day, that's still not that much, but pretty cool. And so it was all awesome. They'd confide in me. They'd be like, "Jorbitron," that was my name in the game. "Jorbitron, you really get me like my wife never will, And I'd be like, "Yeah, so the purple Pegasus that you were going to get me, can that happen like now or tomorrow?" And so it was all awesome, and I was just commanding these guys in this video game until one day I was like, "All right, guys, let's go kill this guy." And then my voice cracked, and I just had to shut my laptop right there because they all knew I had just hit puberty, and shove it away. And then I wandered the world in hiding for years, trying to stay safe. And then years later, I was like, "Okay, I think I'm safe now. It's all good." And I went into a business class in college, and the professor was like, "Hey, tell me about one time you came up with a creative idea to make some money." And I was like, "Oh, professor, I got the best story. I was in this video game, and I pretended to be this woman named Jorbitron, and all these guys would hit on me in the video game and buy me stuff, and my professor was like, wait, you're Jorbitron? So I had to drop out of college. I don't know if any of you guys are taking people in right now, but I'd appreciate it. I've been John Ball. Thank you so much.
Guys, give it up again for John Ball.